the Nairobi Health Show with Matt Ferguson. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you here and super excited for what you're about to show people because we're going to be talking about the Life Extend app. Now, I'm a huge geek, right? I like to geek out on health. I kind of geek out on everything I do. And I love apps, and I've got a bunch of health apps on my phone. And guess what my favorite app is for health?
Hope you're going to say
It's
ours.
it's the Life Extend app. It is the bomb. And what I find so amazing is how you guys have found the greatest, latest nutritional science and put it into an app that coaches like myself can have total confidence in. It's fun. It gamifies health. I like it so much. I not only interviewed Don Brown, which is where, we learned a lot about Lifeomic and the backstory and everything like that. But I reached out to you guys to see if someone could come on and really show people just how cool this is and how much is there. And so, and I first of all, Matt, this is kind of a long intro, but one more thing I want to say is this is not really a sales pitch. Like, first of all, I want to make it clear, I won't make any money if you guys sign up on this app. First of all, you can use the free version and get a lot of value. Mm-hmm. There's a paid version. I think it's $3. I don't know. It's dirt cheap.
$99 a month. Yep.
But if you upgrade, I don't get any money for that either. So I think that's really important. This is not some big sales pitch of me trying to have some sold product on my show that I can make an affiliate commission on, nothing like that. This is pure, I love this thing. And so, Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to come on, first of all.
Absolutely. This is what I do every day. So I'm always excited to talk about what we're doing and help people understand the app better and how to use it and just some of the genesis behind it, the philosophy behind it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Well, let's start there actually, Matt. What brought you to Lifeomic and what is your background?
Yeah, great question. So I've worked in tech for, probably close to 15 years now. It's always been healthcare tech. So my background actually is, my undergrad degree is in kinesiology, and I have a master's in biomechanics. And so I was dead set on being a professor. And working in academia and doing research and teaching. And then I figured out you had to get your PhD to do that, and that I really hated scientific writing and grant writing. And so very few universities are going to let you go without either of those. So I just started working in healthcare technology because those are kind of two passions that I had. And I spent a decade at WebMD and did a short layover.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay, cool.
And little known fact, WebMD actually had an arm of their business that did employee wellness. And so that was the portion of the business that I worked for. So really spent a lot of time there designing and implementing wellness programming for large employer groups and health systems. And I spent a little bit of time at a direct primary care scale up based out of Indy here. So really we did on-site and near-site healthcare clinics for companies. And then about 3.5 years ago, I landed at Lifeomic. And really it was, talking to Don and hearing his vision about leveraging precision medicine and everything that was going on is kind of the cutting edge of technology in medicine, and really empowering users as well as empowering the clinicians, and really just marrying those two together. And it's had the opportunity to join the company, and it's been fantastic. It's something that we're all really passionate about. Just really trying to disrupt, and I know that word is so overused in startups and in technology in general, but healthcare has really struggled to be disrupted. It's very kind of entrenched in traditional things. And so we saw an opportunity to leverage technology to try and just change how people take care of themselves, honestly, and how doctors treat them and how people take an active role in their health, and really prevent disease and chronic conditions that there's so much research coming out now that's really, there always has been a body of research, but it's really supercharged now just around how many things you can do, small things on a daily basis to live healthier for longer. And that's really the genesis of where Life Extend came about, was trying to take all of that research that frankly hardly ever gets out of a scientific journal, and really distill that down to very simple things that people that don't have a PhD or aren't going to go out and read on PubMed or find any of these journal articles. How do we just make it approachable and simple for people to do the things that they love to do longer in life? And that's
wonderful. And as you can see, I've added your screen
nice.
to give a visual of what you just said about simplifying the latest, greatest science. One other thing, you mentioned the word disrupt. And speaking of disruptive, for those of you listening, I'm home alone. And if I leave my dog outside, she'll start barking. And so I've totally bribed her with a good beef bone from the butcher's, and she is beside me. And if you can hear her chewing away, it's better to hear a slight little bit of chewing in the background than a lot of loud barking outside my doors. Those are my choices.
Yeah, well, I was telling Dave ahead of time too. I'm also locked in my guest room because my 8-year-old, who acts like a puppy most of the time, and his buddy are running around, and I'm trying to keep things as quiet as possible as well. So it's the life we live nowadays with everything happening from home.
Yeah, and so we understand, all of you understand our situation perfectly because of the last year and a half or so that we've all lived together. And so, Matt, let's jump right in. Show us time for show and tell.
Awesome. Yeah, and so you'll have to rein me in probably. I get really excited talking about what we're doing, and it's a deep app. And so I think what I'll start with is really just the core philosophy really that we were just talking about, and that's how do we take a massive body of science in seemingly disparate areas a lot of times and make that approachable and simple for a user, because that's the thing, right? A lot of people know that they need to be healthier, but it's really hard to do, and it seems daunting. And so right when the user gets in the app, they're faced with these really colorful pillars, and we've tried to boil everything down to, if nothing else, open the app and try and fill your pillars up every day, right? And so what the pillars represent are healthy plants, and I'll talk about each of these briefly in a minute. Healthy plants, activity, mindfulness, sleep, and intermittent fasting. And we're very direct, or I guess particular, about how we've phrased these. So even let's take healthy plants, for example. You can track macros, you can track diet, you can scan barcodes, track calories, all that kind of stuff. And that's great. And if that's what helps you as an individual get healthier, we're all for it. What we tried to do in our app is say, just get at least 5 servings a day of healthy plants. And that's it. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Naturally, if you're eating more healthy plants, you're going to probably be having to cut food out elsewhere. And a lot of the science really says eat more of these things and it's better. And so that's what we're trying to get people to do. And so what you can do is you can easily track just from the home screen by hitting the plus button if you want to do that. This is my actual user in the app. So this is not dummy data or anything like that. So I figure it's easier to show it's real. And a lot of users don't know this. You can actually tap on the pillar and track at a much more granular level if you want. And so we help guide the user to what's a healthy plant. So we have different categories: fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, and oils. You can track at a very detailed level. So if I say I'm going to add a vegetable, and then I can go in and actually specify, it gave me confetti because I hit my goal for the day. So, a little moment of delight. But I can
Way to go, Matt.
Yeah, you gotta give people a celebration when they do a good thing, right? So I can click asparagus. It'll give me information around serving size. And then if I hit learn more, it'll actually go to a page that could educate me a little bit about, well, what makes asparagus healthy? Why is it, sorry about that. Why is this a healthy plant? And again, we are a very research-based company. Everything we cite. So everything's going to have a scientific background behind why we're saying you should do this.
Love it. And I love the way you've done that so that you can keep it dead simple.
Yes.
So if we can just start off, and they got their 5 pillars. Each pillar is carefully calibrated by your scientific nutritional advisors to determine what constitutes 2,000 points per pillar.
Yeah.
And ideally, to live a balanced day, you're trying to hit 10,000 points.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So that's the gamification, right? So
yeah.
We've made tracking as simple or as complex as you want. We even integrate with devices and wearables. So I have an Apple Watch. you'll notice that my activity pillar, the red one, is a very specific amount, and same with my sleep. That's because that data imported through HealthKit. We can do Garmin or Google Health, all these different things. So we're trying to make it simple, but you can also track pretty detailed too if you want to. And so really we just leave it up to the user how granular they want to track. Even me as a user, I tend to track more granularly, but there are days where I'm just in a hurry and I just hit the plus button and because I want my points. And so the tracking aspect helps. There's a ton of research around that, but then we gamify it by giving them points, right? And you want to earn points.
Yeah.
And so it's not just about filling a pillar, which there's an element of play and gamification there, but also giving each other points. And again, a lot of users don't know this. You can actually tap on the points, and we talk a little bit more around what the categories are for the points. You can actually go back and see yesterday's points and historical points. We are planning to revamp this screen. It's pretty basic. It's been this way since we launched the app, and we know that it needs to be a lot more robust. So that's some future looking work there. But then what really ties it together is, okay, so I can track and I can see if I'm doing these healthy things that I know I need to do. That's great. I can there's educational content in each of those pillars, so I can go in and read a lot more about all this stuff. We have an entire scientific writing content team at Lifeomic, and so we write most of our own content. And I get points, but then what brings it together a little bit as well is the social aspect. And so I can join circles.
I'm going to cut you off. So hold
go
your
ahead,
thought.
go ahead.
Hold your thought.
Yeah.
You're getting ahead of me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I told you you're going to have to cut me off. This is good. Jump in.
I might do that a couple times because, you live this every day. You're working under the hood, right, of this thing. And you may not realize just how cool what you're showing us right now is, because there's so much more to the app, that the 5 pillars is probably old news to you, and you've moved on and you're really excited about the chassis and the body and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
But a couple things I just want to say now, or ask questions about. You mentioned how it syncs with your Apple Watch. I have an Apple Watch as well. And of course, for those who use Android products or Oura Ring, could you give us a quick list of kind of the top products that sync well with this app?
I will show you, and that will make it easier. So in your settings, the sync data, let me turn. So these are the data sources that I'm syncing.
Okay. There's
a lot supported here. We do a variety of different meters. I'm an Apple guy, so most of my stuff's data is coming through Apple Health. But we also support Fitbit, Garmin, Google Fit, and the Oura Ring. A lot of devices that we may not have a direct integration with will come through Google Fit or HealthKit as well. So you can link it through that way. If that's what fits it. And we're always adding these as they make sense. So, but these are the main ones. I mean, this captures, I think, something crazy like 90% of the wearables market in the world. So.
And what you just said about kind of the second tier of data, go back to the home screen for a minute. I just want to walk people through my own personal experience. So I also have an Apple Watch. I have a meditation app. I have Apple Health all dialed in, because you have to go in and give your permissions and things like that. Okay, so those of you who have wearables, and I'm not just talking about here in this app, I'm talking about with your wearable. Make sure you're going through the apps and giving access to any health-related app that you already have. So for example, I use the meditation app Waking Up. That's my primary. I also use Insight Timer. And both of those I have set up to allow my Apple Fit, my devices to track that in Apple Health, okay? Now, I had all that dialed in so that when I started this app, Matt, one of the reasons why this experience was so great for me is because the minute that I set up the app, it suddenly started doing a lot of cool stuff for me, right?
Yeah.
So every time I take my dog for a walk, I take the watch, going for a walk, and it gets added onto my fitness minutes. Every time I do a workout, same thing. If I open up the Waking Up app and I do a 20-minute meditation, it shows up automatically under my mindfulness minutes, right? Now, interestingly, I don't use a sleep app right now. I've experimented with a couple, haven't been that happy or noticed really great results from sleep apps. And so I just not had success there. And yet Matt, when I go to bed, I take my Apple Watch off. I put it beside my bed to charge. I plug in my phone. I wake up in the morning, and it's uncannily accurate about how many hours of sleep I got. I don't even know what it's doing.
I know that's a little bit of the Apple's magic pixie dust that they sprinkle on things. I mean, it happens the same with me too. I don't wear my Apple Watch to bed. I have my bedtime schedule set up in my phone, and every morning that sleep pillar fills up, and it, like you said, it's uncannily accurate. So I got to give the software engineers credit on that.
Okay. So if you don't have wearable tech, it's really not a big deal. You just remember, just click the little plus buttons. It's not very difficult. But if you have dialed in now, or if you have wearable tech, or even not wearable tech, you just have a phone, right?
Yep.
It's tracking your steps automatically, right? So just make sure you take your phone with you when you work out, when you walk, when you run. And so a lot of this stuff is just automated, and it just makes it so easy. And yet, like you just saw when you hit the daily 2,000 points on your pillar, and it had that little, the
confetti bomb.
that stuff is real. I don't care how old you are, right? Like, there's a kid inside of all of us that loves to get a gold star.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I've thought about this long and hard, and even tried my best to create an app for my own customers. And to be honest, part of what's so exciting about this is this has way more than I could ever possibly do in my small company. It's completely in line with the goals and things that I'm teaching people, and I don't have to build it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's incredible. And then you get it in all these things that we're talking about that took some engineer many, many hours for each of these things to be built, turns it into something that's super easy for us. Depending on how many apps we use and how much wearable tech we have and these types of things, gamifying this can be dead easy, super rewarding. And I'm not sure if you have any metrics on what type of improvement people have actually experienced in the first few weeks or months of this app. It's got to be measurable.
It is. So it's pre-publication, but we have written a peer-reviewed article. We have one that was just published around our learning content. So that was just actually released a couple weeks ago. I can get you the information for that if you want to put that somewhere, where we have a whole learning platform where we kind of the same. You'll notice a common thread in our philosophy here, where we take scientific writing and put it in a very easily consumed format. And so we did a randomized trial around just increased efficacy and learning and things like that that we just published. So that's related. But we do have outcomes data that we'll be looking to publish soon, where we were focusing on weight loss. We know a lot of people use our apps for weight loss, and that's definitely an output of doing, you fill your pillars every day. And if you're at an unhealthy weight, the chances are your weight will come down because you're focusing on a lot of really healthy things. And the weight loss was pretty significant. I'm gonna butcher this probably a little bit, but it was, I think 40% of the cohort that we looked at lost 5% or more of their body weight and of their starting weight, which is usually that's a kind of a clinical benchmark. So if you're going to a weight loss clinic or working with your clinician or provider on weight loss, that's an initial benchmark. They'll usually set 5% of starting body weight. And then we saw, I think it was around 18 to 20% lost 10% of their starting body weight, which is once you start in that weight loss bucket, that 10% or more, that's where you start drastically reducing the risk for chronic conditions and diseases. Or if you already have a chronic condition, the management of that gets significantly better. And that's just one outcome metric, that we looked at. Yeah. So it's pretty powerful. And just to think that that's with very little involvement from any kind of healthcare professional or even us. We're just building the app and people are using it. And we're seeing a lot of pretty amazing results.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I think you've covered this. This is really the core of it for me. I know there's a lot more, and you guys have done so much work. It'd be a shame to not show that off. But for people watching, I hope you understand that if this is all you get, And I go many days where this is all I do. All I do is track my pillars and shoot for my 10,000 points. One thing that was kind of exciting for me, Matt, is at the end of every week, they publish who got the most points.
Yes.
Now I have my own health principles I follow. We call it the Nairobi Undiet. I actually have a circle I've started in here. So hopefully I can connect with people directly and help my clients to reach their goals using this app. And I can communicate with them through the app and help them to hit their pillars as well. Well, since I got this, I've literally never had a goal to get lots of points. I always try to close my 5 rings. I found that to be a really worthwhile thing to do. So I try to keep things simple in health. I think many coaches complicate things way too much.
Absolutely.
And so I've never tried to get more than the 10,000, but everything is tracked like we talked about with the app and everything like that. And about 3 weeks ago, it's like, hey, see who got the most points. And I went and clicked on it. I was number 2. And I think there's 40,000 active people participating, something like that.
Awesome.
And to me, it was super exciting because I didn't try. All I did was run on a track the same track I'm teaching people to follow. And neither did I try to get a whole lot of points the next week either, because I know it's a little bit of a fool's errand. Like, it's cool. I like what you're doing. I think it's fun to see the inspirational people who do a ton of points in a week. But again, that's not replicatable. I'm not trying to get a large group of people to all fight for the top points in the Life Extend app. That's not my goal.
Right.
I'm trying to help everyone achieve their own goals.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, 100% agree. And that's really, again, that's why we tried and just simplify it. Some people are going to have areas where they really struggle. I mean, the discussions we have internally at Lifeomic, we're a very open, I mean, no one makes us be open about all this information, but just the type of employees we have in our culture, it's just, we're all kind of a big bunch of guinea pigs, petri dishes for different things. And so we'll have very open discussions. I'm just really not doing well with my mindfulness pillar. That's really hard for a lot of people. That's not a regular thing for people to do. And so there's a lot of encouragement that happens with the social there. And, you know, we can talk about that in a minute, but yeah, it's just, it's everyone's health journey is very personal. And again, we're just trying to give people the tools to make it easy and simple. We're not saying you have to go run a marathon. We really just hope that and again, a lot of our content is phrased this way too, is just try and do these simple things. You know, you don't have to win your circle every week. You don't have to run marathons. You don't have to be a vegetarian. Those are all good things. And if that's what motivates you, awesome. But some simple things done regularly, try and do it every day, will make such a huge difference over time. It's the long game, right? This isn't a quick fix. This is the long game. Master
the mundane. That's what we tell people.
Exactly.
Really good health looks kind of boring. If you could watch a really healthy person's lifestyle, it's not that exciting. It's mastering very, very simple things.
And it's hard because everyone sees athletes or influencers, and, you know, social media is a great platform for a lot of really good things, but I think it can also, just my personal thoughts, it can also set kind of a false bar for a lot of people, where people feel if they're not doing all of those things that they're not going to be successful. And that's just not true. It's small habits often, and with consistency, like you said, the mundane, it's very mundane going down and making a salad every day. There's nothing exciting about that, but if it becomes a habit, it helps me get a couple servings. And so that's a good thing.
Okay, sweet. Well, the point I cut you off, and then we did this huge segue. You were about to show us communication. I think you're going to circles. Is that where you're about to head? Okay. And we can show you the Nairobi circle. I have a circle.
Let's go check it out. This is always, so there is a thing in technology and software where live demos are always terrifying, because anything bad that can happen will happen during a live demo. And so, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to accept the risk, and I'm going to go off script, and we're going to look for the Nairobi circle really quick. I want to take a look at the circle that I'm already in, just to show a little bit. So I said, we're all our own guinea pigs at Lifeomic.
You don't have to show the Nairobi circle. I think there's 2 or 3 of us. So it's not very exciting.
That's okay. I'm going to join it.
I'm going to be inviting people there, and I'm going to be using it to work directly with people and my own clients anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to join it after this without a doubt.
Sweet. You'll be number 3 or 4 maybe.
I love it. I'll be active then. So circles have a few places of real estate on the app. So on the main screen, what we're seeing with this little horizontal scroll here, these are all the different circles. Now I have a lot of test circles. Again, product manager. I do a lot with the engineering team. So most of these circles I'm in are just totally bogus where we're testing something out. But this is our employee circle for Lifeomic. So all the Lifeomic employees are in here. So this just gives us a quick leaderboard, and I can just really easily scroll through. I have dropped throughout the day. Unfortunately, most of my goodness comes in the morning. But I can just tap on that little pill, and this will take me into the circle proper. So we got to load it up here. And so there's different aspects to the circle. I can go to a member list, which is effectively a leaderboard. And so this is just how is our employee population doing today? Jay at the top is doing great. I've dropped a little bit. So I can scroll through, and this is the competition aspect. So again, you can see what we did with this, right? It's simple, but it's effective. It's do healthy things. You get points for doing healthy things. Compete with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever, your peers, right? And then so those that are motivated by competition or at least accountability, this really plays into that. And we've seen engagement in the app, not surprisingly, for people that are involved with circles is 7 to 10x people that aren't involved in circles. So we know the social component is incredibly important, and we put a lot of resources into it. I can sort, I can look at different metrics. I can sort by points weekly, 30-day average, all time. So again, there's just different ways that we can slice and dice the data to look at points. But we also have the concept of a discussion feed or forum, basically. So it's kind of like Facebook. You can post pictures and comment and do emojis, and we're a few weeks away by being able to post videos. So we'll be able to share videos within a circle. That's going to be really cool. And then the owner of the circle, and there's nothing good to show you on this one here, but they actually can make an announcement. And so that's just a post that's a little bit more important than other posts. So it'll get a special visual treatment. It has its own here. We don't have any announcements in here yet. Like I said, this might not be the best example to show, but so you as the circle owner, Dave, can have content that's elevated, and it'll generate a push notification and things like that. So it just allows our circle owners, particularly folks like yourself who might be managing a business or a group of people for your brand or your business through that. It gives you just some more tools to have things float to the top a little bit there.
Can other members of a circle be elevated to kind of like admin, to where I could have other people posting content for the company?
What a great question. Yes, soon.
Okay, coming soon.
Yeah. Coming soon. So I'm always really clear whenever I demo to differentiate the real from the coming soon. So that's a coming soon thing, but we've heard that from a lot of people.
I'll bet you have. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Okay. So circles. I think we're good on circles. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Well, for those
join my circle, those of you.
The users, that want to find your circle. If there's a tab item at the bottom, obviously you can create a circle, but you can browse circles. Again, little future facing work. We're actually going to start recommending circles to people based on what we know and what we know about the circle. That's not working quite yet, but I can search up. Is it Nairobi?
Yeah.
Let's see. We're enhancing our search right now, so I'm a little nervous. All right, here we go. Is this it?
That's it. 3 members.
Oh, it's restricted. So we'll see what I have to do. I might have to.
Oh, why is it restricted? It shouldn't be restricted.
Let's see what you have. Just over 18. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. That is a restriction. It should be restricted that way. Yes.
Yeah. So as long as the user has their age in the app, that's fine. And we guide them through how to join that. So there we go. I joined, and I got my little wave hand, and I've joined the circle. So that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Super cool.
And that's how we're going to share our transformation journeys. And we'll also share in there discounts and promos and different things that we do as a company. And so, like I said, I'm trying to make this app my company's app, because this is way, way, way beyond anything I could ever envision or develop. I mean, you just showed us the Lifeomic employee circle. There's 103 freaking people. I mean, you got 100 people building something full-time. I know they do other things too, but again, you get the idea. What you guys are building, you got a really legit team building something that a coach like myself and many other health coaches are so much better to tie into than create ourselves.
Well, that's our goal. It's taken us, our mobile team now is probably about 25 to 30 strong. It's a big team. Wow. It's a big software development team for those that work in software. And it's taken us years to build this. And so, we recognize that. And frankly, again, on the coming soon category, we recognize that there are folks like you and others that have a great business and really in alignment with the types of things that we're doing and are using the app already. And so we're actually going to be building a lot more features for professionals much like you, where you can have more of that kind of business management aspect too. We'll give you a back end you can actually use on web and things like that. So we'll let you know more about that when it's coming. But I'm happy to hear that you're using it and loving it for that.
Love it. And so we've covered the pillars, the home screen, circles, and I don't want to take a ton more of your time. My main thing here is, I think what we've shown people already, I hope they're excited about it. I hope anyone watching this would go, that is cool. I want it. And, but what other important things would you want to point out before I let you go?
Yeah, there's a lot. We do have a lot of content. So I think for those in your clientele that love to learn, we're putting out articles every week. If you have the app already, you'll get a push notification about once a week around weekend reading materials or things like that. We do offer more for those that like to track a little more. We have all these tiles down below. And again, I have some crazy tiles in here that are more from me testing things than anything else. But we do have the ability to track weight and waste, glucose, ketones, body composition, things along those lines. So I know sometimes those tiles get buried. We're actually going to be working on how to surface a lot of these features. You know how it is on your phone. If it's below that fold of where you scroll, it can be lost. So, this is important, I think, for your users to know that information is there. It can help with tracking all that. We also offer a lot of different assessments. So it's called Marketplace, which is maybe a little misleading, but we actually have a lot of health calculators available in here for people to use. It doesn't cost anything. If we already have information about the user, it'll pre-fill it. And we'll be really adding a lot to this Marketplace section in the coming probably 6 months to a year. So there's a lot in here right now, but we'll be doing a lot more with programs and things that people can use and sign up for and participate in. But that's the thing.
By the way, Matt, let me just stop you there at the Marketplace for 1 second. So I'm a biohacker. I did my first blood work at a nutritional panel 5 or 6 years ago now. And it was $500. And it wasn't that great. It gave me like the big things, like where's my testosterone, how am I doing on vitamin levels, triglycerides, all this kind of stuff, more than what I'd get from my yearly physical.
Yes.
But it was like $500. And since then I've done many, and I try to do at least one a year. I'm kind of right now on more of a every 6 months. I'm trying to do some type of really good blood panel.
Yep.
So I did yours, one of them that's in here. It was $100 and it was unbelievable. I'm such a big fan. It's actually one of the reasons that $99 blood test, those of you watching, this thing is the bomb. It gives you so much information. You go to a local clinic, and then they send it off and then put the results in your app.
Yep.
And Matt, I think this thing is worth $200 to $300 based on other ones I've done.
Oh, at least. Yeah, we have a great partnership with these guys to give us a good deal on this. And yeah, this is a several hundreds of dollar blood test. It's tons of biomarkers. I mean, a quick story about this. So we get this done every 6 months at Lifeomic. Again, we're all nerds about data and technology and things too. So we put ourselves through this blood test every 6 months. I had a new PCP that I was going to, and he said, I want you to get some blood work done. And I said, well, I just had some done. Let me send you the results and see if there's anything you need. And he gets it. And again, I pulled it up right out of the app as a PDF, emailed it to him in the office. It was great. And he goes, oh, well, this is there's a lot on this. I don't need anything else. I'm like, there's actually stuff on here that I wouldn't ask for, but now that I have it, I'm really glad I do. So yeah, it's great. It's $100. You can go, we utilize the Quest and Mid-America Clinical Labs Network. So there's, I don't know, 4,000 labs across the country. So
yeah,
there's one near wherever you live.
Mine was 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Super easy. And Matt, it was so comprehensive. I didn't know what half of it was. I mean,
me neither.
I figured I had to be like a PhD, a doctor to understand what it is. As a matter of fact, it's one of the things on my to-do list I haven't done yet. I need to go into the coaching and find a coach who is an expert in this area and help me interpret the results. And there's a ton of coaches, by the way, that are in here that are available. I'm actually one of them. I've done my first coaching session last week. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And maybe just show us that. As a matter of fact, maybe this would be a fun little thing to do. If I'm going to find a coach who I think could help me interpret the results from my blood test, make sure I understand them and what steps I should take based on them. Show us how we would do that.
Yeah. So I think probably your best bet would be one of the nutrition coaches. They'll probably, because a lot of those, well,
it's funny. I am a certified fitness nutrition coach. Okay, this is what's funny. So a lot of it I understood, but some of it was things I've never had on any test before. So it was getting down into the weeds of these. Some of these are just like scientific terms I'd never even heard of in my life.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, I have a health science background as well. And so same boat, I had to read up on them. And frankly, some things are probably best talk to your doctor about too. But, nutritionists, even within the field, people have kind of their own lanes and things like that. So some people are really into the like deep dive into the vitamins, or some are really into all the inflammation markers and things like that. And I'm not going to pretend to be some nutrition guru, but finding a coach for whatever you're interested in is really easy. Again, it's just a tile on the page. We offer one-on-one coaching in different categories. We also offer group coaching sessions. And so sometimes those can be a little bit lower price point for folks if they're not willing to pay the hourly rate. So anything that we have going on this week and then the next 2 weeks, it'll come up here. I've actually done a couple group coaching sessions as well myself, and sounds like we can find you in here somewhere too. So
I don't have one live right now, but I've done 2 of the group coaching and I absolutely loved it. It was a blast. And also I sometimes I just forget to make myself available when I am available to be a coach. And so what Matt just showed us, for those of you, just so you understand, there's a lot of coaches in here, but the tile he was just on showed us the ones that are available right now. So you just click on the tile, and whatever their price is, I think my price is $30 for half an hour. And I saw one of them was $60 and $40, and they all price themselves here, $27.50 and $60, whatever. They price themselves according to their experience and what their time is worth, however they figure that out. But the guy that contacted me last week, end up cost him $30, and we spent half an hour together, and it was really great. As a matter of fact, there's just a couple areas I was able to quickly detect where he just needed to realign a couple of his things, and he had a particular struggle he was working with. And when we were both done, we both felt really, really good about it, and it was a lot of fun to connect with someone that easily and quickly who has a specific thing that they really want to discuss. And frankly, he said an interesting thing. He's like, I've seen you in here, but you're not available very often, and I want to talk to a guy.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, there's a lot of female coaches, and I wanted a guy. The opposite, I'm sure, is true as well, that I'm in there and some women just aren't going to want to talk to me. So I ought to make myself available just so that the guys can who feel the same way can have a guy if they want to talk to another guy.
I love that story. And that's what we're trying to do. So again, these aren't our coaches. What we're doing here with all the coaching work is really, we're just providing the technology and the users so that coaches can make themselves available through the app to coach and expand their business and, whatever they want that to be. We're just trying to give the platform there and do a little bit of matchmaking. So I love the story of you talking about that. That's so fun to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I've just had nothing but a good experience with this app from the minute I got it. Both for myself, I love it. I use it every day. The vision that I have for it being a great app for me to invite clients to be on so that I can work directly with them in a way that I could never build myself. The fact that what you alluded to earlier of the massive amount of scientific, nutritional, and fitness data that's come available in just the last even 5 and 10 years, that you guys have found a way to gamify and add some competition and some connection, ways that people can connect, pay a little bit of money if they want some really, high-end personal functional training right there available to them. Like this combo of what you've done, the group coaching sessions where you can pay a little bit less and participate with 4 to 12 other people on a coach in a specific topic, mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, all these different aspects of it. And then, as we've talked about a few times here, the fact is the vast majority of Americans are eating what we call the SAD diet, the standard American diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
They know they're not eating very well. They know they're not exercising enough. They know they ought to be more mindful and have a habit of meditation. And almost every grown-up on the planet who's a sentient being knows all these things.
Yep. And
you guys have created a way to make it easy and fun and focus down on the most simple things. And I just think that 80% of people, if all they did is get the app and they never left the home screen, could have a tremendous experience and improvement in their health. And from there, they can get all this other stuff that's just a cherry on top. To me, I mean, it's fantastic to do a blood test. It's fantastic to get personalized coaching. But more importantly is that bedrock, that foundation of just taking and tweaking some of those bad habits that almost everyone has and helping to, 80-20 rule, invest in that 20% of things that will give them 80%. That's kind of how I think of these pillars. Gamify it. Right there is so valuable, and everything else just makes it, like I said, it's my favorite health app by far right now.
Well, I appreciate it. You hit the nail on the head. There's a lot in the app. There's a lot that we're going to be doing. I mean, I could go on for a whole another hour just about where we're heading directionally, but you'll get to see it. You'll be along for the journey, but yeah, to distill it down, that you've nailed it. We're really just trying to say, hey, if nothing else, just do these things. Keep it simple. Find what works for you. If you hate apples, don't eat apples. Eat some other fruit. You don't have to. If you hate running, don't run. Just find some way to do these things and find out how those fit into your life and what they mean for you. And, even going so far as to say, don't worry about not doing other things, just try and do these things, focus on the positive, focus on what you should do, not what you shouldn't do. And a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times the rest of the stuff takes care of itself and it becomes a bit of a virtuous flywheel of momentum on these healthy habits. But that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to help people be healthier and try to make it as simple as possible, but also have a really strong foundation and then grow over time to just help people more and more. I think you're doing it. I think you're achieving your goal. I think it'll just get better and better knowing what I know about Dawn, what I know about the employees at your company, what I already know about the app. So how do people get it? Oh, and I got to reiterate, some people probably joined us late. I just want to reiterate, I don't make any money from endorsing this app. I'm endorsing the app because I love it. I'm endorsing it also because as a coach, I'm participating in it. I'm offering paid coaching, but more importantly, I'm offering my free coaching through my circle at the Nairobi Undiet. And so Matt, how do people get this app? It's on Apple and Android, both of the App Store and the Play Store. And you can search for Life Extend, or you can just search for Lifeomic. That's Lifeomic. Either one, you'll see it come up. It's a green and blue logo, but that's pretty simple to find. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Matt, for coming on. This has been a fantastic overview. And from what you've said, it's just going to get better and better from here. I think it's fantastic just how it is. So I can't even imagine what other cool, great things are coming.
Oh, well, I'll let you, here in another 6 months or so, we'll come back on and show all the new good stuff because we
Let's
keep
do it.
iterating pretty quickly. No, this has been so fun. I so much appreciate your time and having me on to talk through it and just share my passion and my team's passion building the app, and Lifeomic's passion building the app, because we're very passionate about it and we think it can do a lot of good in the world.
Well, sounds great. And Matt, maybe make a note on your calendar and maybe remember this conversation, and that when those things go live, reach out to me, and I'd love to have you on for round 2 and show all the new latest and greatest.
Absolutely.
Okay, Matt, thanks so much. And for those of you listening, this is Dave Sherwin wishing you health and success.